Welcome to my kitchen again. Today we are going to show you, I am going to show you how to make pizza. Not just any kind of pizza, we're going to do yeast-free pizza crust, and I'm going to show you how to make a vegan mozzarella to go on top of it. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so what we're going to do first is we are going to get our flour. Now I'm using half unbleached white flour and half wheat flour. Now for a single recipe you're going to want 1.5 cups of flour total, but I'm doing a double recipe because I have 4 children. So we're going to put those into the bowl. Next we are going to put our baking powder into a bowl. So for a regular recipe, you'd want 1.5 cups of flour, and then you want 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. So I'm going to put that in there. Now this is a yeast-free crust, so this is something that you can, it's kind of like biscuits, but in pizza form. Then you want 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And then we have our oil and our water. All right, so we're gonna mix up our dry ingredients. And then I'm gonna create just a little bit of a hole in the middle. I'm gonna go ahead and use my hands because I'm gonna end up using my hands anyway. And we got our oil. So our oil, we want 2 to 3 tablespoons. And that looks like more because I'm doing a double batch. And then we have our water, and you want about 2/3 of a cup of water. Now I'm setting some of my water aside. This is the amount of water you'd want to use, but I'm setting some of my water aside just in case I need more, because I did put a little bit more in the container. And this actually looks like the perfect amount. So, and sometimes you might need a little bit more moisture because sometimes the flour is older and it has less moisture in it. So there are times when you might need to add a little bit more water, and sometimes you might need to add a little bit less water if you're using, freshly ground flour. All right, it's nice and sticky. So now what we're gonna do with this is we're going to put this on our pan. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get our pan. Move that over there. Now, a regular batch of this will fill about half of this pan. But since I'm doing a double batch, I'm going to use this whole pan. And for those of you who have children, especially boys, you would not be surprised that they do eat this whole pan of pizza. Now, I'm actually going to break this into 4 pieces, and you'll see why in a minute. Well, maybe I can do 6 pieces. Anyway, you can break it into pieces because basically we're just gonna be pushing it down. Now, if you want to wet your hands down during this process, you can. And it might help with any stickiness that might be there or anything else. And this is actually something fun that you can get the kids to do too. Because it seems like most kids like to get their hands into dough and make a mess of things. All right, I'm gonna keep pushing this out, and we will come back once I get it all pushed out. And when you do the creases, you just kind of push them together, pinch them together, then you won't have to worry about them coming apart. So once I get this all pressed out, we will come right back. All right, so I got it all pressed out, and I actually added a little bit of flour to my hands because it was sticking to where it was getting kind of not very much fun. So I did add a little bit of flour to my hands, and then it pressed out much easier. And you'll see I left a little bit of a lip around the edges because that actually it'll give you that poofy crust that we all love to dip in marinara. Now next what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a fork and I am going to prick this so that when it bakes, it won't all of a sudden form like a big bubble and then get all out of shape and stuff. And plus it's fun to poke things. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna bake this in the oven, 400 degrees for 10 minutes. And then we will be ready to put toppings on. All right, the pizza's been in the oven for 10 minutes at 400. I'm gonna go ahead and put a towel here so I don't burn my counter. And we're gonna grab the pizza. All right, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? You got nice poofy crust around the sides. Yumminess. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and put our marinara on there. It's not marinara, it's pizza sauce. But you can use like, any other kind of sauce. You can use pasta sauce. You can use like an Alfredo sauce. You can even make this into like a Spanish type pizza where you put like I forget what, enchilada type sauce on the bottom, and then you put beans and stuff on it, and it's really, really good. All right, we're gonna do a little bit more sauce. Now, you saw that I saved a little bit of sauce in that container, and I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna move this over here. So, I can't eat this pizza because I'm gluten-free, but I can eat this pizza. So that's why I saved the rest of the sauce so I can have my own pizza at the same time. So, and with this recipe, you can use gluten-free flour in place of the flour, and it turns out pretty much the same. So, of course, mine didn't have nice poofy around the edges because I don't have a little itty-bitty pan this size to be able to make the edges all poofy. So have that, and we'll go ahead and use the rest of the sauce on this one. And we like sauce, so we're going to put a little bit more sauce on here. See, this is just regular pasta sauce. So I just put a little bit more on. And you can sprinkle different herbs on there. You can put some basil or some oregano or any kind of sauce that you want to do. All right, now that we got our sauce on there, every last little corner, we are going to put our toppings. Now I have lots of toppings here. One, we have onions. And we have some green olives. Now, when I put these in here, there was more olives in here, and somehow some of them disappeared. And we have black olives. All right, we also have some red peppers. One thing some of you might not think of is I have some spinach. All right, one more ingredient. Actually, I have two more ingredients. One I know the kids probably don't like, so I'll only put it on half the pizza. Artichokes. And then there's one more ingredient. Now, these are gluten-free sausages. We have a recipe for this on our church supper club page. I believe we did these sausages in December. All right, we got all of our toppings on there. It looks delicious. Now, I could throw it in the oven just like this, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to set these aside, and I am going to show you how to make mozzarella cheese. And it's not going to be the kind of cheese that you just sprinkle on it. It's going to be the kind you pour over it. Now, you can put regular, cheese, regular cheese over it, or vegan cheese like Daya, or whatever other kinds of vegan cheese there are. You can use that, but I'm going to show you how to make your own, which is so much cheaper than the stuff you get in the store. So we will show you how to do that. Okay, to make the mozzarella, you're going to have 1 cup of hot water. And we have a 1/3 cup of cashews. Now these cashews I've already rinsed, and I have soaked them for about 10 minutes or so in warm water. Put those in. Then we have 3 tablespoons of tapioca starch or flour. Tapioca starch and tapioca flour are the exact same thing. Then we have 3/4 teaspoon of salt. Oh, I almost put my garlic in there. I forgot I put those together. 3/4 teaspoon of salt. We have 1 tablespoon of nutritional yeast flakes. We have 1 teaspoon of lemon juice. And then we have a small garlic. Now you could add a larger piece of garlic and make it more like a garlic mozzarella cheese. You can have a smaller piece of garlic if you don't want any garlic, much of a garlic flavor in there. But we're doing, I don't know, kind of a medium-sized garlic. So you put all your ingredients into your blender and you blend it till it's smooth. Now I'm going to stop it in between blending, and you'll see me dip my finger in it. Of course, I turned off the blender first. You're gonna see me stick my finger there, and I'm gonna rub it between my fingers. And if it's nice and smooth, then I know it's done. But if it's still a little bit gritty, I'm gonna let it blend for a little bit more. Alright, I've let it blend for, I don't know, a couple minutes. Got a little bit of steam going on there. Let's see here. Yep, nice and smooth. Now, if you don't have a Vitamix, that's okay, because it took me years before I was able to have a Vitamix. You probably want to let it blend for a little bit more. Just as long as you do like the finger tests and in between your fingers to make sure it's smooth, then you should be fine. Alright, so we're going to take this and we're going to pour it into our pan. Medium to high heat, and we're just going to whisk until it is nice and thick. Now you just want to make sure that it doesn't stick. Sometimes it takes a little while for it to heat up. That's why you want to start with hot water. That definitely helps. Now towards the end, you'll see me actually switch to a spatula so that I can get every bit of this yummy cheese out of this pan. Now I have the heat pretty high. I have it actually in between medium and high. And as long as you continue to whisk it and make sure it doesn't stick, you should be fine at that temperature. But if you're prone to wandering while you cook, you may not want to have it at such a high temperature. No, see it's starting to thicken up already. I'm going to turn it back down to medium now. You can see it thickening up. Oh yeah, good stuff. Look at that. Nice. Gooey mozzarella cheese, so yummy. See how it kind of like, it's like, I don't know, looks gelatinous kind of almost, but oh, it's so good on top of the pizza. All right, so we're gonna take this and we are going to, I'm gonna set this aside, take it off the heat. And I am gonna go ahead and pour it on the pizza. Yeah, that's exactly what you want it to look like. It kind of like clumps together, but it's still kind of runny yumminess. Okay, I'm gonna take this off the heat and we're gonna pour it on our pizzas. All right, we're gonna go ahead and put the cheese on there. Oh, yumminess. You can just kind of like pour it on. Sometimes it's easier if you don't let it thicken all the way on the stove. Just get it thick enough to where it's pourable. Not like super runny pourable, but to where you can still pour it and let it thicken up the rest of the way in the oven. Yeah, I would probably recommend not thickening it all the way. Usually what I do is I actually just keep blending it in my blender until it's, you know, gotten a little bit thicker, and then I usually just pour it on, but because of demonstration purposes, I did it in a pan for you. Oh yeah. Yumminess! Now we have these pizzas, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and put these in the oven, 400 for about 15 minutes, and then we'll take them out and show you. All right, pizza's been in the oven for about 15 minutes or so on 400 degrees. Oh, look at that pizza. Got mine in there too. Oh yeah, I can't wait to eat this. So we have delicious, yummy, this one's gluten-free, this one's not, but delicious, yummy pizza with vegan mozzarella, and we got yummy fake sausages, and oh, all these toppings. Oh, I'm so excited. So anyway, that's pizza. That's how to make it. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you try it because you're just going to absolutely fall in love with it. And you might even find more ways to use this cheese on different things that you'd bake in the oven. Oh, it's really good on lasagna. Like if you make a lasagna and you pour this over it afterwards, oh, it's absolutely delicious. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I look forward to doing more recipes with you.